Good day, I am Mikhail Roldanis, and for my second to last laboratory exercise in advanced computer and network security, I was tasked to create this network topology over here in order to illustrate how a virtual private network works, which is basically a way to establish connection between private users in a public network or a public server. Basically, how they will be able to access this public server is through encryption, but I will illustrate it to you in this video over here. So as you can see, this is the image, the original image given in the module for me to with containing the IP addresses and subnet masks that I need to assign to each device in our network, which I have already done off camera. And these are over here in my notepad are the sorry, I pressed something. These are the codes that I will use to configure this router over here, AMA main, and this PC over here or remote user in order to get the virtual private network going. So let's get right into it. The task that follows the configuration of IP addresses, is to create a new model or our AAA model, which is the authentication method used to guarantee the identity of the peers or the private users that want to access the virtual private network. So the encryption method, as said over here, is used to protect the data and ensure privacy. And in these commands are the identity, obviously, of the private user, which I have configured based on my own name for login and authorization. So as you can see over here, I will type this down right now as I am speaking in order to illustrate this one. Okay, so let me type it down. Hold on. Okay, so enable config T AAA new model. That is the name of that is a new authentication model that we are creating. AAA authentication login. Michael Galdones 1. That is my name, and that will be the first user, or the first host or user, or whatever you'd like to call it, to be accepted into this virtual private network that we are going to configure in this video. Local user. And I'll just copy the same command for Michael Galdones 2. Michael Galdones 2. Also a local. Hold on. Okay, sorry. AAA authentication login Michael Galdones 2 local. And now we can configure the username and the password to be used in order to access our virtual private network. And this will come in handy when we actually configure the virtual private network through the app or the application in our remote user PC later. So let me type in my chosen username, boxudox. And I got lazy for the password, so the username is the password. Obviously, in real life, applications do not do this. Prioritize your security. It is the highest priority, right? So now that we have configured our new model, it is time for us to configure our ISAC-MP, or the Internet Security Association and Key Management Protocol. So basically, we are going to start setting up the measures that are needed in order for us to configure our virtual private network. And as you can see over here, there are quite some measures that need to be implemented in order to configure our virtual private network. So the ISAC-MP is a bridge that lets two hosts agree on how to build an IPsec security association. So as you can see over here, there are multiple commands first command that I notice here is ISAC-MP policy. Then these are basically a categorization of policies that can be encoded into a virtual private network in order to determine the level of security needed for, or the various security methods needed for a virtual private network. So this is just a random number. In reality, since we only have one remote user, we do not need any numbers. But for multiple users, obviously, you need to configure multiple numbers or multiple policies in order to set our ISAC NP. And after that, we have the encryption 3DAS. So basically, that means that we use triple DES encryption for data security. This one, hash MD5, means that we use MD5 hashing for the integrity or for integrity verification. Sorry. Then we also have pre-sharing. Basically, we have a pre-shared key for authentication, and then group 2 is the default Hellman group, or basically the level of security of the key. So our key is basically level 2 when it comes to network security. And let me just stop talking and type it over here so that we can get going. Key crypto key policy, then encryption, redes, hash, D5, authentication, hook to, so we just end right them. Alright. And then the next one is a bit straightforward. This is the IP pool, or basically the allowed range of IP addresses into this virtual private network. So I just copied it off of the module, and we are going to type it in right now. AMA pool 192.168.10. Obviously, we do not have these any of these IP addresses in our network, but this is basically for props. Something you can do when you have multiple remote users in place. After that, we also have our ISAC MP key. So basically, we are configuring the key needed in order to enter our in order to enter the VPN client group. For this one, obviously, the client configuration group, I changed it in order to um, use my name. So basically, the client configuration group here for the accepted clients in our VPN is our name, my name, and this is straightforward. I just use the key box to box, which is basically the same as the password for the user authentication, and then the pool is the same. A pool. So basically, this user will be once the user enters the key, he will be admitted into this pool, the IP pool, if of the yes, he will be admitted into the IP pool in order to access our virtual private network. So let me type this one: crypto ISAC client configuration group Michael Galdones key box box. Hold on. Pool pool. And now that we are done with the ISAC MP key, we can move on to the next step in the configuration of our VP and network, which is the IPsec transform set, which is the acceptable combination of protocols, algorithms, and other configurations that would apply to the IP security protected traffic. So this one is a little straightforward. I will just have to copy what I entered a while ago in our ISAC MP, which is the 3DS, the MD5. Yes. So let me just type that into the AMA mains CL. So let us go and config C crypto IPsec transform set. Hold on. So basically, any set numbers are allowed, just like in a while ago when we had the policy numbers for the ISAC MP. But let me just type in ESP 3DES or triple DES, ESP MD5 HMAC. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Sorry, I pressed on something again. I think I know the error in my configuration. Yeah, I think I know the error in my my commands over here. So I believe I need to enter set one. This is different, and this is different as well. Right. Let us continue programming our AMA mains command line interface for our VPN network. So here we go. Okay. Alright, now that we have configured our IPsec transform set, it is now time for us to create our crypto map, since a while ago we laid the foundation in order for us to create our crypto map. So basically, a crypto map is used to accommodate multiple tunnels for multiple interfaces. So I copied the commands over here onto my notepad, but obviously I configured it in order to show my usernames, or the names, or sorry, the names that I have picked out for my remote user. So let me just configure these over here. Now we can see the user here, and I do our interface of our user. Alright, and as you can see over there, our ISAC MP has been configured, and with that being said, this end of our VPN is done. Now it is time for us to configure our VPN on the other end of the spectrum, which is on our remote user PC's desktop. So hold on, let me just end this, write memory. And then let us now go to our remote user PC over here, particularly onto this one, this VPN generator. And I have the commands over here in order to configure our VPN menu. So over here, the group name, as I typed it in the CLI of our AMA main a while ago, is Mikel Galdones. Then the group key is box. The host IP, which is the IP of the router or AMA main 20.10.10.11, the username, which is box, and the password, which is box. And let's see if this works. Hold on, our connection timed out. Right, so after a few hours of trying to diagnose the issue, I realized that I actually made a mistake. So over here, in the crypto map section of the configuration of our virtual private network, I actually put client authentication list Mikel Galdones 2 instead of ISAC MP authorization list Mikel Galdones 2, which I have configured over here properly. And I believe we will be able to successfully access our VPN this time. So Without further ado, let's go to the remote user, press connect, and our VPN is connected, and all we have to do is to ping the following IP addresses of the server in order to see if we'll be able to reach them. So ping and there we go, the first packet dropped, but the rest of the packets made it, and we got feedback from it only with only a 25% loss. So let's do the same for our second server. The second server being the web server, the first one was the file server, and then the third one will be the mail server. And there we go. Our second server also replied with only one packet loss. And finally, let us ping our mail server to see if it will be successful. And I expect only a 25% loss since this network was just configured after the mistake. And there we go. Our ping is successful, and therefore our configuration of our virtual private network is rather productive, I would say. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you were able to enjoy this video on configuring a virtual private network, because I had a lot of fun too, even though I made some mistakes along the way. So thank you once again. Have a nice day.